Okay, today we've got Richard Spencer here to talk to us and share his experiences of joining Cheltenham Running Club. Richard, it's been a couple of years now, is it?
2 and a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And what was life like before you found Cheltenham Running Club?
Before I joined the club, I wasn't doing much really in the way of physical sports. So I joined the club when I hit 40, so that was the milestone where I decided it was time to do something really.
Yeah.
But I suppose I was doing a bit of five-a-side, the usual sort of stuff, but nothing very serious. So I wasn't. I was more inactive, working at a desk, than being active out doing anything really.
Had you played a lot of football in the past?
Back in the day, you know, most of it was leading up to sort of the age of probably 19 when I went off to university, and then it all stopped. So certainly between the ages of sort of 12 and 19, I'd have done a bit of footy and did a few years of surfing back in the day. But yeah, after 19, it pretty much stopped. And
you had a family and you had a business?
Yeah, so I suppose 11 years of no family, but 11 years of partying and all that stuff as you do when you're in your 20s, and then got married, and my son's 9 now. So yeah, I didn't do very much sport as he was sort of in his infant years. So that was part of the motivation, I suppose, is get fit.
Healthy for him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. And what about your job? You're a lawyer, right? I mean,
Yep.
Was that another excuse not to get sporty?
I don't know really, but being a lawyer is not conducive to being fit, getting fit. You know, you are sat at a desk most of the time. So yeah, most days is in the office, and if you look at a few of my former colleagues, then some of them are completely out of shape, and obviously it's a stressful job. So a lot of them probably drink a lot and eat lunches and all that stuff. I think more so back in the day when people would go out for long lunches. That's less the case these days. But it wasn't. It's not a healthy workplace really, I suppose, in the office every day. You certainly feel it when you're not. If you miss a few runs and you're sat at the desk, you know, every day, you feel it in your back and your shoulders and what have you.
Right. And what was your health like before you came along to try us out?
Trying to remember, not terrible, but I was probably diagnosed with asthma at about the age of 5. So sort of sports days growing up, you could definitely, you know, out on the grass in the summer, you could definitely, you knew I was an asthmatic at the time, but in the winter you'd forget all about it, so you would sort of feel better, then the summer comes around and you feel bad again. So I always had the asthma. I then decided to combine that with smoking from the age of 15, which is a great combo, really clever. So I probably smoked until I was late 20s, maybe 30. So yeah, definitely the opposite of fit. But I always considered myself able to do stuff, you know what I mean? I was never, fortunately, massively overweight. So I suppose fitness was always there or thereabouts. But like most people, you know, you feel like you can't run to the end of the road without being out of breath. And I guess that's like most runners, they all think they can't do it. And it's like this, you can't do anything until you practice it, I suppose.
Exactly. And how did you find Cheltenham Running Club?
So how did I find the club in terms of come across you guys? Facebook, I think. Facebook advertising.
Yep.
It's probably Christmas time, and I was having a look, and came across you guys and thought, well, it starts in the new year. I'll give that a go, and
was that a Couch to 5K for the beginners promotion?
Yeah, I saw the Couch to 5K, and I thought I had actually tried the Couch to 5K app back in, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years ago, and like a lot of people, probably because it's not probably brilliantly designed, but I remember not enjoying it at all, and I probably lasted maybe 3 or 4 weeks doing the app, and then gave in. So yeah, I saw the Couch to 5K and thought I'll come and do that. I got chatting with you, and you thought you probably skip that and maybe do sort of the 10K. So I didn't actually sort of do the 5K Couch to 5K program, I don't think.
Yeah, you started
straight to the 10K.
As a walk jog,
but it was a nice way to start, nice and easy, you know, is
what
how it
do
should
you think
be.
stopped you from completing the NHS version?
I can't remember the exact detail, but I know you know, it's still a walk jog thing, isn't it? But for me, I'm a social person, so going out on your own is pretty boring. I wouldn't say the app's that motivating. I expect they could do something much better with sort of prompts and notifications and all of that, which I don't think it did at the time. So there's nothing to sort of remind you to go out and do it. You still have to self-motivate to do that. And the app itself wasn't particularly much fun in terms of the person speaking. You know, it just didn't really do it for me. And I think I was still running too quickly, because there's no one telling you how you're running. So you run for a particular period of time, but also being a self-conscious bloke, I expect I was trying to run quickly on the road and not look like a prat, which I think is quite common.
But also, as an ex-footballer, you don't know really much in between, do you?
No.
It's either all or nothing, really.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, didn't work out anyway for sure. So so I joined you guys. I think would have been January 2017.
Cool. And what was it like coming along to your first runs? And you say you're a social guy. And...
Yeah. The first thing was the first evening. It was nice that you had other students there for other people from the club. So very friendly. And then gradually you work out your pace, and then you get running with a group of people you get to know, and then you turn up on the Sunday mornings and get to run with the same people, and just becomes a bit of a laugh really. You find out who you get on well with and what people you've got stuff in common with. So yeah, very friendly, and certainly kept me motivated to run.
Good. And when did you start racing? When did you first do a race? Can you remember?
So I'm trying to remember. It was called Resolution Run. It was in Swindon, so it was probably June, would it have been, in the 2017? Certainly. Yeah. So I joined your 10k squad, one of your training squads. Trained for that. Had a good first 10k. I don't think it was an official 10k in the sense that it wasn't properly measured. I think it was a bit short. So that was the first 10k, and then did the Cheltenham Half in the September, I think, of that year. Yeah, that was my first Cheltenham Half in the end of September 2017.
And as a squad member of that 10k squad, do you think that helped with getting round? Yeah,
it's good to have the Facebook group, so you've got people posting their runs, and it's focused. So instead of having people posting 5k, 10k's all different, they're posting based on the training run for that week, which most people in the group are following the same distance. So even though you may be different speeds, you're still at the same sort of training level, I suppose, in the programme, which is great. That works really well.
You've still got to hit each run, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's nice to see other people who've done their 7k run this weekend, and I better go off and do mine.
Better go off and do mine. Yeah, definitely. That motivates. And the squad worked well for me, and I always feel like by being part of the squad, I don't feel so bad if I sort of tap into your knowledge as well. So. That's what it's there for, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And in terms of motivation, do you feel like you've been pretty steady throughout, or you've had your ups and downs?
No, I've definitely had ups and downs. At some points, I feel massively motivated, and then actually in 2017, after the half, I took a little break, and then that little break, it must happen to lots of people, but for some people they may never get back into it, and that was never my aim. I always wanted to get back, but I allowed it to gradually get bigger, and you think, oh, I've missed 4 weeks now, I've missed 5 weeks, and then I think I allowed it to become maybe a couple of months, and then probably ended up coming back in the January 2018, so that's easily done. I am somebody who works better with sort of group motivation or sort of others sort of egging you on, so I've got to be careful about. And if you take a holiday, then you miss both weekends around the holiday, which I've done recently. So, you need to watch that. Well, I certainly do anyway.
And you seem to be quite motivated by events as well.
Yeah, relatively competitive, but more so with yourself. You want to do well, but seeing others improving definitely makes you want to carry on improving as well. So I think it's been a steady improvement over the last 2 years. Certainly speeds and the comfort of running has definitely improved massively in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
for sure.
Pretty lucky with injury, haven't you?
Yeah, I got injured. I got the sort of foot pain injury, which a lot of people get in 2017. Saw KT quite early on, and I reckon I had proper running trainers from the outset, but they may have been a bit old, probably from my old Catch 5k days. So went into up and running and got another analysis done, and I've been injury free since getting probably a better pair of trainers. So that's I put it down to that. So I recently got a mate gave me some trainers, which I was a bad idea, but he said, I'll have these, they're too small or whatever. So I took them, and immediately I could feel it wasn't right because they weren't support trainers, which is what I need. So having the right equipment. And you do see a lot of people, I suppose it's fine when they first turn up to be running and whatever, but sometimes you see people running quite a while after they've joined and they're still in just a normal pair of trainers, and that can't be. Certainly for certain types
when
of
the
foot.
distance goes up and you start increasing the speeds, it's just more and more force, and if there's not enough support there, it can stuff you up.
But I have been lucky, because it's really frustrating when you're actually, particularly if you're in a squad, so you know you're training for a race and then you get injured. It's really annoying because you can't really go out and train properly, obviously, if you've got a bad injury. So that is, I actually felt that was really frustrating.
So what's next then?
I mean, I need to sign up for some races. So what month are we in now? March.
Yeah.
So race week's just gone by, so I enjoyed race week and now need to get back to it. So Cheltenham Half again later in the year, but I need to find some suitable races in the meantime. So some 10Ks probably. I don't know, it's difficult because I was signed up for the half squad, but I haven't booked in for sort of a half in the spring. There's probably still some that I could book in for. Looking at that.
I mean, it's that'd be quite soon, but the half squad is open for people training for 10Ks, people who do Cheltenham Challenge 10K in June. There's that Swindon 10K as well if you wanted it.
Yeah. So I'll have some 10Ks and some halves this year. I'm not thinking of anything like a marathon. I know a few people have done them or are looking to do them, but for me, half I think is the maximum. But no, I'll be ready for Cheltenham Half, and I think just to get a half in before then would be good. But I find it difficult because I like to understand how things work. So I'd like to sort of mix and match it, but I know you'll say it's better to try and train for one type of race at a time, which makes sense.
Yeah, I think what you don't want to be doing is having a 10K race, say 2 or 3 weeks out from your half marathon, when you're supposed to be doing a super long run. That's when it can get disrupted. But I think it's good to have, because trying to stay half marathon ready for the next 6 months, it can be quite a challenge. Some people do it. But it depends on how much time you've got on your weekend and things. But a lot of people will just train for a 10K and in the next 3 or 4 months and try and get a really good time for that. The better speed you can build up for that, it just means you've got a better platform to build on when you go to your half marathon training. Those long runs won't take as long if you've been running a fast 10K before that. Yeah, sure. You've done Cheltenham's Half a couple of times now? Yeah, twice.
So last year the first year was fine. You don't know what to expect. The second year you're looking forward to it almost. Well, I was looking forward to it. I think the course was exactly the same. I think so. I think there were more of us doing it in 2018 than there were in 2017. Certainly I knew more of the people. So I think there were four of us running together for at the start, which was nice, and we were all having a chat at the beginning, getting told off by a few other runners that we clearly weren't working hard enough. But no, it was good. It was good crack, and it was nice to see. I think the four of us were all trying to go sub 2 hours, and I think all of us did. So and I cut mine down. I think my first year was 2 hours, and last year was 1 hour 52. So it's a nice improvement. I was pleased.
I can remember that race back in September, and she started off with the guys and pulled away.
I'm not. I suppose. I know we go in with the kind of target time or target pace, and I guess if you're feeling good, then
absolutely
you go for it to a certain extent.
You know that you can speed up. That's the question you should be able to ask yourself at any time, or answer for yourself: is can I speed up? If I can speed up, then it's okay to speed up. But
if you feel
I
comfortable,
feel like I can't speed up, then you're probably gone too fast.
Both years, the end of the races were both, you're tired, but you're not completely dead. And certainly last year I wasn't dead by the end of it. So I think it was a good race. But I guess it happens to most people where you might run a little bit quicker than you plan because it's race day and the whole atmosphere, as long as you don't go crazy. I think the pace throughout was pretty steady, and it was quicker at the end of the race, which is what you would want, and certainly in the 10Ks that's happened that way as well. Apart from one 10K last year at Gloucester, no inhaler in my pocket, and of course it was the summer, and within 300 yards I was in a whole heap of trouble. So it reminded me that actually, carry the inhaler just in case.
You're not invincible.
No. But no, the halves definitely have gone well. So the squads have definitely helped with that. Turning up doing the Sunday run with others from the squad is really helpful.
So do you think that a PB for the Cheltenham Half will be on the cards this year, or how do you compare now compared to last year March?
It's difficult, isn't it? We always sort of, some of the lads sort of say, you get a year older, obviously, every time. So at some point, that's going to, well, does it? I don't know. I suppose you can still improve throughout the years. Why not? A friend of mine's my age, 42, and he's just run the Bath Half in 1 hour 14. Okay, he's a good runner, but he's got quicker and quicker over the last few years. So actually, as long as you get your training right, there's no reason you can't keep improving until you hit a certain age. So yeah, as long as I get the training right, and right this second my training's not where it needs to be, but I don't know whether I can go quicker than 1 hour 52. We'll see. I think at the time last year, you feel invincible straight after everyone does. They've just done the race. They feel great if it's gone well. And I said, right, I've got 1 hour 45 in me at some point, which is a massive change. It wouldn't necessarily have happened in a year, but one day that'd be a lovely time to achieve. But if I could go sub 1 hour 50 now, it'd be a nice target.
Yeah, the experience will help. But yeah, the
training. Get the training right. The training and the nutrition and the not drinking. I think a lot of people in the club, because there's a lot of people. I suppose everyone's an adult. There's a lot of people who like a drink at the weekends, and the club's very social in itself. So a lot of people joke about having to take it steady on a Friday or a Saturday, depending on whether you're running on a Saturday or a Sunday. But yeah, we've got to be careful of that.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, we do the socials on a Friday night, so it doesn't interrupt the Sunday race or the Sunday long run.
Yeah, that's a good idea, definitely.
Quite well.
So no, hopefully this year there'll be a few PBs in there. So my 10k times, I mean, the one at Gloucester last year, because I couldn't breathe, I scraped round in over an hour, which was my slowest one by a long way. But the other Gloucester 10k last year, I think I did it in something like 49, just under 50 minutes. So
excellent. That
was quite a tough race, actually. I felt that. That was tough, but I guess that's how it should be. But that was, the last couple of k were, I knew about it, Even though they are the fastest 2k in the race still, but it was tough.
Sounds like you paced it perfectly.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can beat that this year. But
all right, well, any other thoughts on the club you want to share with other people who may be thinking about coming along to try us out?
We've said it's supportive, but it genuinely is a really friendly club. I've always perceived, certainly when I did a little bit of cycling in the past, cycling clubs are, I think, full of usually very, very, very good cyclists, and I think it's quite political. And I think I perceived the running club would be like that, and I expect some running clubs are a bit like that, but Tottenham Running Club isn't like that at all. So it's almost more about the fun. I know it's serious and you want people to run well, but it's a really fun environment, and I think that's what makes it enjoyable. You actually, I tend to diarise my runs. They're in the calendar so that you're going to go. But if it wasn't enjoyable, people wouldn't keep coming back. So it's got a real club atmosphere, I think, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. If you remember, I put a post in the main group asking whether members thought that we should start a bit of an intra-club competition, throughout the year, and it's quite interesting to hear the resistance to that.
People really didn't want it, did they?
No, and asking why. I think a lot of them were citing that actually it starts to pull members apart to a certain extent. It's maybe a bit too much competition.
Yeah, there is natural competition. People want to be able to sort of do well. I mean, people are pleased for each other when other people run quicker than them or whatever, but most people, it's self-competition, is that they just want to beat their own times, and that's all they need, really, I think. There's always going to be people better, quicker than you or whatever. But also, we did the Gloucester 10k in October, I think, last year, and we all waited around to the end for the couple of ladies to come in at the end there, and practically everyone has stuck around, and that was nice for them, but it was nice to be there to the end with everyone as well. So it's definitely a proper club atmosphere, which is what you want. So I would say to people, don't be put off thinking it's going to be all elite sports people and scary and horrible people. It's none of that at all. It's quite the opposite, which is great.
Excellent. Well, thanks for coming today.
Pleasure.
See you at training tonight.
Yeah, we'll do. Cheers.